Hey there everyone, my name is Diane and welcome to my channel. Around this time last year, I was starting to get ready to get to college. I was making videos over the summer about my admissions process to Stanford and applying to schools in the US. However, a huge part of my application process, which were applying to art schools and applying overseas, I don't think I necessarily got across. So now that it's summer again and I have some time, I thought it would be a good idea to share with you guys my admissions process to schools in the UK and overseas in general, and to art schools. So today for you guys, I'm going to read my UCAS essay. And the UCAS essay is the personal statement that you write for all 5, or however many you choose, up to 5 schools that you apply to. And I use this to apply to Oxford University, Goldsmiths, UCL, and UAL. For UAL, I applied to both the Chelsea School of Art and to Central St. Martin's for fine art and sculpture. So because I was applying for art programs in the UK, my essay is very much geared towards that subject alone. I would say that the English school application process versus the American school application process is very different in the respect that American schools focus a lot on your qualities as a person, how you interact with people, while the English schools tend to focus very much on your passion for the subject, what you've done in it before, why you want to learn it, etc, etc, etc. I think that you can tell if you were to watch my other videos where I read my Common App application, which is the US school main application portal, how different that is to what I'm about to read for you guys for my UCAS personal statement. So I'm going to be reading this directly from my finalized UCAS application PDF form, so it's definitely the final version, and let's get into it. It's right here on my laptop. Let's go. As a multicultural person who has lived in different countries, I am passionate about connecting with people from all over the world and sharing my ideas on global social issues. Art provides me with a way of communicating that goes far beyond the limitations of spoken word, as its language set includes image, sound, light, color, smell, movement, temperature, texture, emotion, and even time. The dialogue I create through art is my expression, and mixed with the contextual interpretations of individuals who experience it, art becomes our conversation. Olafur Eliasson may have said it best at Davos 2016. Art helps us identify with one another and expands our notion of we from the local to the global. I see it as my responsibility to enhance the ways we interact as we evolve as a global community. As an intern for the OXT project at Sonsbeek 2016, a quadrennial international sculpture exhibition in the Netherlands, I assisted artists from all over the world who came to create sculptures using wood from the historic Sonsbeek Park. I watched creators share ideas, stories, and nurture the creative process. My biggest takeaway from the experience is that the most riveting works of art are the result of collaboration and exchange, creating a living dialogue. Inspired by this observation, I developed my own concept. Using wood and a chainsaw, I created 2 tree-sized matchsticks for my installation titled Lucifer. I wanted my work to reflect Sonsbeek 2016's theme, transaction. Lucifer shows one matchstick untouched, standing strong against a tree, representing the future. The other, a burnt matchstick, fallen to the ground, represents the past. The piece is completed upon interaction with the viewer, or the decision maker, who represents the present. The chemical reaction of burning is the irreversible transition between 2 states, which is the transaction between the future and the past. Lucifer went on to receive considerable recognition, including an invitation to expose my work at the Saatchi Gallery in London as a finalist for their International Emerging Student Artist Competition. I further explored the concept of using single materials to create 3-dimensional dialogues during my semester at an arts-focused boarding school, Oxbow, in Napa, California. I took inspiration from one of my favorite pieces, Ghost by Kader Attia. I was struck by how the use of just aluminum foil effectively evoked a haunted feeling of the faceless women in prayer positions. I realized how powerfully the presence of empty space portrays the women as mere ghosts of themselves. Derived from Attia's concept, my final project at Oxbow, titled Praxis, is a sculptural piece that explores mass consumerism and its effect on human individualism. The sculpture depicts an empty human shell hanging by a single rope. Light and shadow reveal a complex dynamic between 2 extremes. One, if there were no consumerism or media at all. And the other, if we were completely susceptible to every artificial influence. Rooted in my love for research and investigation, Praxis merges opinions and data from varying viewpoints, spanning from scientists and philosophers to engineers and other artists. The artwork I am moved to create is that which integrates its intention with the viewer's interpretation, as well as collaborative research. As an artist, I am driven to share my perspective of the world beyond the boundaries of conventional language. I use art, the three-dimensional aspect of my work, and the dialogue it creates to tell the story of humanity in my own way. And that is all, folks. So that is my whole essay. As you can see, I really went into some key points in my high school experience that I think stood out in terms of my art creation. And those were obviously my internship, where I created one of my favorite pieces that I've ever made, as well as the time that I spent at a boarding school across the country in California. Other than that, I think the paragraphs that begin it and that end it are very much true to how I still create art to this day. And so I often still use those paragraphs as part of my artist statement when I apply to things and stuff like that. So I think that I've done a pretty good job of refining what I think means to create art, and I think that I very much refined what I think art means to me and what it means to create art, in my opinion. Ultimately, for me, I wrote this with the intention of showing who I am as an artist and what my process is academically when I create my work. And I think that's what makes it powerful and what made it stand out for the officers who determine the work. Also, my number one tip for applying to UK schools, especially to a school like Oxford, is that the people who review your work, especially in a department as small as art, are likely going to be the people who will be your tutors, who will be working directly with you. And so I kept that in mind while I was writing my essay, making sure that I showed both the fact that I was confident and knew what I was going into, but I also had a lot of room to learn. Having a helping hand and being collaborative and being in an academic environment for art where everyone is kind of working together and bouncing off of each other, bouncing ideas, etc. So yeah. I will also have a video up about my general application process to UK schools through UCAS, how my Oxford interviews went, and what that whole experience was of going to Oxford, staying there for a while, meeting people, doing practical tests while I was there. So yeah, I will do that, as well as make a video about how I put together my art portfolio. I think that's a really good skill to have, and I want to definitely share that with you all. So yeah, stay tuned for those things. I'm very much looking forward to sharing that information with you. So if you want to stay in touch, then definitely hit that subscribe button, as well as reach out to me anytime on Instagram. My name is just Cyan Donju. I will put the link in the description box. If you have any questions at all or any suggestions, please put them in the comment section. I will be reading all of your comments. Again, I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and peace out.